All right, we are about to get started. Just doing some final setup. Okay, hello stream. We should be live. Hopefully, stream can hear me. Here we go. We're just setting up at the moment. We can show Mars is nice and centered. It's reasonably low in the sky at the moment, so we do still need to do a bit of a focus though. Okay, we are pretty much set up here. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit. And let's see if we can get a bit more focus going on here. Actually, what we'll do, let's get a region of interest happening. All right, let's get this focus. Oh, if you can see, Mars is moving around a lot tonight. There's a little bit of a breeze tonight, unfortunately, so that is causing a little bit of chop. There we go. We can see a little bit of detail there. That's not too bad. Mars is still quite low in the sky. Actually, on the camera, I think you should be able to see it. It's just, where are we? If I can get things back with that dot way up there. That is Mars. So we're going to see if we can get exposure a bit better here. Brighten it up a little bit more without clipping. You can actually see along the bottom there's a bunch of blue, and along the top there's a bunch of red. That's actually the atmosphere causing some diffraction, which is going to ruin our detail for the next little bit, but it'll slowly get better as Mars gets higher in the sky. You can see a bit of detail across the middle here, though. You can see those dark rocks, which is quite cool. Soon what we will start to do, though, is we will start to take some videos, and then we can stack those videos and pull out the detail. What are we currently doing? Currently hitting about 14 frames a second. That's a little bit on the low side. Speed traffic's pretty good. Okay. Okay. Hello, Juno. Alright, let's see. We drop this down a little bit and set increase our gain. We should be able to get some more frames per second coming in here. It's going to be a bit too much gain. It's always a trade-off with gain and exposure time. get those nice extra frames per second, but that looks better. There's a lot of wobble though. We're definitely going to have to wait for it to get a little bit higher before we take some videos. You can see all this wobbling back and forth is caused by all of the buildings across the road. Since we live in the middle of the city here, there's a lot of surfaces that heat up during the day, and they radiate that heat back off during the night, causing a lot of this atmospheric turbulence. Hopefully you guys on the stream can hear me all right. It's showing that the voice should be fine here. And you should be able to actually see too. Oh, it might actually be too small at the moment, but you might be able to see just up here. Where are we? Yeah, just up there. Mars is actually in the wide field camera as well. But this is what Mars is looking like at the moment from my location. See if we can fix that focus a little bit. No, it's just a bit too low on the horizon. That's about as good as we're going to get there. Which isn't too bad considering it's only at about 35 degrees above the horizon at the moment. And a nudge. Oh, we're losing it. There we go. Bring it back. Okay, well we could start trying to take some videos here. Let's start with a 60-second video. Make sure we've got our folders set right. Yes, excellent. Now this is actually Mars. Oops. Yes, D-Bail. Okay. And yes, it is a luminosity. All right, let's take a 1 minute video here. And then let's see what we can do. You can see down here in the histogram, it's calculating the offset due to the atmospheric dispersion. So down the bottom of the image here, you can actually see there's a real blue tint, and at the top there's a red tint. And that's because as the light comes through the atmosphere, it's bent in different directions because of the different wavelengths. And the red is ending up on one side more, and the blue is on the other side. So instead of having one single image, the colors are all off-shifted slightly, and that's causing that fringing. Now that goes away the higher in the sky the object is. But unfortunately, Mars is reasonably low on the horizon at the moment, so we are getting a fair bit of that distortion there. But we have just finished our first minute, which is very nice. So let's bring that up. in auto stack it. See if we can do a bit of fancy editing to get it looking a little bit better. If I have it installed, I do not have it installed, but I did. Let's download AutoStacker then. Can definitely start to see a little bit more of the detail actually though coming out. We can actually start to see, oh, that's really cool. On the left side, if you look really closely on the left side, you can actually start to see the southern polar ice cap. There is a white little blob on the left side. It's still dancing around a lot because of the atmosphere, but you can see a bright spot just on the left side over here. And that is the polar ice cap. Hopefully you guys can see that polar ice cap on the left there. It might not look like much in the video, but we're going to get some good detail out of that. In our stills. Don't you worry. Alright. I'm just setting up auto stack it here. But yeah, that's definitely the polar ice cap. Alright, we are going to jump over to auto stack it here and do a bit of stacking. Where are we? Where did I save those files? Oh, it's like just weirdly making me scroll with these huge icons. Okay. Here we have our first capture. We're on planet, dynamic background. Yes, we want to analyze. If anyone on the stream has any questions, feel free to ask and I will try my best to answer them. Gonna zoom this bad boy in. Yeah, you can already see that polar ice cap on the left-hand side there. And we're gonna drop some of these down. Oh, that's a little bit small actually. Some of this, we're gonna do the top 10% of frames here. We'll do a little bit of a drizzle. Make it a little bit bigger. TIFF looks good. And no normalizing, no sharpening. That's all fine and dandy. This is now going to run through and essentially take the best detail out of every frame and add it together. So instead of having a single image of Mars, you end up with the best detail out of the entire 60-second video. And so what did we end up with? You guys are going to be so disappointed with what this looks like. Let me bring this up real quick. It does not look great. But we are only partway through. There we go. Wow. What a beautiful Mars picture that is. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. You can definitely see, though, that on that left-hand side there, the polar ice cap. Looking very cool. But don't worry, we're not done. We have more editing that brings out more magical details. Assuming the program will run. No, it will not. Okay. I'm going to have to re-download. Lovely. I love when that happens. Alright, while you guys are waiting so patiently, I'll toggle back to a live view here. I'm not sure if you guys can hear my dog or not in the background. She's making quite the noise. Okay, so, excuse my dog's barking in the background. We've now loaded up Registax with this image of Mars that we took before. And we're going to use this wonderful, wonderful bit of mask called wavelets that are going to allow us to adjust the detail that we have captured but can't see. So we're going to go 2 layers here. A little bit of denoise there. We can see there is a little bit of noise coming in here. We're going to essentially slide these sliders up, and it's going to do some magic for us. And suddenly, a lot of detail is going to appear. Now, unfortunately, as we can see here, there is a lot of that fringing that I was talking about before. The top is really red, and the bottom is really blue, and the green is somewhere in the middle. Now, most of the detail on Mars is in the red channel, so that means most of the detail will be up the top, but then we're going to have this fringing, and you can see around all of these sort of darker sections, and especially around the South Pole here, we can just see that sort of stretched out. So that's one thing where if you did have a atmospheric dispersion corrector, an ADC, you would be able to fix that. But we can try here and see if we can compensate. Oh, yeah, that's not correct. That is not correct at all. Went a little bit too far there. We're going to try maybe... That's looking a bit better. I think it was off much horizontally. What was it before? It's definitely down a little bit. So essentially what we're doing now is we are shifting each of the colors, the red, green, and blue channel, around a bit to try and match them up with the green channel, which is actually a little bit, yeah, a little bit more. The red's still a bit high. It's actually a bit to the right as well. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be able to perfectly solve for us. But it should get it looking a little bit better. The center's definitely looking a lot better. The fringing on the edge is still pretty bad though. It's a tough one. Now we're starting to get too much on the bottom now. I think that's probably about as good as we're going to be able to get. We can do a little bit of denoise here. Drop that noise down a little bit. And that's not too bad. So we just hit do all, and it is going to go away and process all of that lovely detail for us. Oh wow, sorry guys. You're getting some wicked ghosting of my mouse. I don't know why that's happening. The good news is though that fringing will get better over time. As Mars gets higher in the atmosphere. So we're now just going to open it up in Photoshop, do a bit of quick levels here. Hopefully you guys can see. No. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like my computer's having a little bit of trouble at the moment. I was getting way confused. Okay, just trying to see why why this isn't working. Also not sure why it's not showing up the fire capture anymore. Okay, well it seems to have found Photoshop. I may just have to do a display capture. We'll see how this goes. Oh no, okay, it looks like it's loading in this time. No, it's not. It's not loading in. Okay, hopefully you guys can see it now. So this is the image that we just took of Mars, which is pretty nice. Let me just bump some of these levels around a little bit. So increase the contrast a bit. Unfortunately, because of how low it's in the atmosphere at the moment, we've got a huge amount of fringing on it. Because of that, the misalignment of the RGB, it's actually thrown the whole color scheme of Mars out. So we're just going to do a bit of adjusting here. Bring it back somewhere a bit more like that. There we go, that's our first image of the night. That's all right. It's not too bad given how low Mars is. You can see the south pole here with the ice caps on it, which is really cool. We can see all through here as well. All this darker section through here is actually where all the dust has been blown away by the Martian surface, Martian atmosphere. Mars does actually have an atmosphere. It's just very like light compared to Earth. But the dust that's been blown away here has exposed a bunch of rock, and that rock is actually quite a bit darker. And then these lighter sections that we can see are actually where the Martian dust has settled. That dust is quite reflective and red, and so it does sort of make it look a lot brighter. And then the rest of it around the top and bottom is just fringing due to our own atmosphere. So as light comes through our atmosphere, we get the different wavelengths of light get scattered differently. So the blue light gets scattered in a different area to the red light. That's why we have blue during the day of the sky and red in the mornings and evenings at sunset. So the light gets scattered differently, and that's causing the light, which would have all come in a straight line, all the colors coming together and looking really clear and crisp. As they hit our atmosphere, they get scattered differently. Some go this way, some go that way, and so we end up with essentially 3 versions of Mars. Well, many, many versions, but our cameras capture 3 versions of red, green, and blue, and they're all slightly offset, so we get more blue at the top and more red at the bottom. Now we can jump back over to the live view here and see how we're going. Just do a bit of nudging here, bring it back to the center. Yeah, we can see there definitely is still some of that fringing going on, red at the top, blue at the bottom, which is only going to become more pronounced as we do our editing. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer before taking any more videos, unfortunately. We can see down on the left here, this little blue and red with white circle in between. This is showing us how much Firecapture estimates the offset to be. So it's saying, you know, a couple of pixels this way, a couple of pixels that way. That's how much it's estimating that atmospheric dispersion is at the moment. So ideally, you want that to just be 0 and to just have a white circle. But because we're still reasonably low, let's see, you guys should be able to, if we drop this one back over here. Oh, looks like we're getting some clouds coming in. No, I can no longer see actually. Mars was just up, where are we going? This way, just up here. But it looks like it's gone a little bit behind that cloud there. We do have this cloud over this way, all sort of starting to come in. You can see some trails of it up over here. So it looks like our imaging session is going to get cut a little bit short tonight, unfortunately. Hey Boko, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. All right, let's jump on and see how Firecapture is going again. Oops, if my laptop will unfreeze, that would be nice. Not sure if you guys can see Juno there. She's been a bit of a menace tonight. All right, here we go. So this is the live view of Mars. I don't know how much longer we'll have it for though. There is a bunch of cloud coming in. But we can still see it. And if we look really closely on that left side, you can still see oh, there's some cloud coming in. Yeah, I can see a band of cloud. It's just hitting Mars now. That's awesome, Boko. What sort of gear do you have? I feel like any detail at all, like anything at all, is really great because it is still 65 million kilometers away from us. So, I mean, you know, it's hard to be upset when you're capturing details of a planet that far away. I'm actually just going to boost the gain here instead so we can get some nice fast frame rate still. It is going to increase the noise a bunch, but there we go. Yeah, it looks like we're getting quite a bit of cloud coming through. It looks like at the moment, actually, there is just a really thin band of cloud pretty much covering most of the sky, within a couple of trails of heavier cloud. So we're probably going to be able to see it for a little bit longer, but it's just going to wash out some of those details, and we're going to start getting over and underexposed as the cloud sort of thins out and then gets thicker again. So I'll have to just keep playing with the exposure here. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any great images tonight, but I'm going to keep the video rolling for a little bit longer at least. And we'll see how we go. I'll get a patch soon. I did manage to get some great videos last night though, which was really cool. Oh, that's awesome, Boko, with a DSLR too. That's not easy. It is not easy to capture planetary details with a DSLR. I'm assuming you're just using like a terrestrial lens as well. Hello to everyone new on the stream. We're currently being hampered a little bit by clouds here. We can see a little bit, oops, wrong way. We can see a little bit of surface detail though. On the left side of Mars, if you look really closely, you'll see a little white, slightly colored section that is Mars's south pole. And then across the center you can see that dark ribbon. Mars is actually tilted on its side at the moment. I wonder if I can rotate that. I may just rotate the camera. Let me have a look here. No, that's flipping X. We want to actually... No, I don't know if I can rotate. Alright, give me 1 second. Let me... Without completely losing it, let's see if I can do a bit of image rotation here. Oh, if I bump it, it's going to freak out. And I have to bump it to undo. Oh, where are we? There we go. Oh, I should have done that earlier. Okay, back away carefully from the telescope. Nope, that's fine. Go away. Oh, now my adjustments are going to be... I'm going to have to relearn which way we're going. Okay. West and north. Okay, now Mars is oriented kind of up. So down the very bottom in the center, you can see the South Pole. Then we have that dark section on the bottom where we have all the exposed dark rock, and up the top we can see the bright orange section there. Hey John, thanks for joining. Oof, Boko, that sounds rough. Having only clear skies for like 1 day in a couple of months, that's, wow, that is, yeah, I'm very lucky, I guess, that we live in Sydney here, where we don't get snow, so that sort of, I think, helps a whole bunch. As much as I envy anywhere where it snows, I feel like you guys just get so much cloud in comparison to what we get here. So you can, yeah, that's about it there. I can try adjusting the focus, but I feel like it's pretty good. I might try doing, let's try doing a 90-second video here. Just recenter real quick. Okay. I'm going to do a 90-second video. We'll try doing another stack and see what we get. It's still saying, if you guys look on the histogram, just to the right of the histogram, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not. You'll see a little white ball with a red and blue side to it. That's showing the atmospheric dispersion offset. So that's essentially showing how much the atmosphere is distorting the view. blue gets refracted differently to red wavelength. The blue wavelengths get refracted differently to the red wavelength light, and that means that we've lost a lot of brightness as that cloud comes over. And that means you end up with a red part of the image that's to the, like one side and a blue part of the image to the other, so the details don't quite line up, and so you then have to try and do that in post. You can get some physical correctors called atmospheric dispersion correctors, or ADCs they are known as, and we're getting a lot of cloud coming on. Yeah. And they will essentially try and do the opposite of what the atmosphere is doing, using glass and prisms and stuff like that. I haven't used one, but some people swear by them. And that will try and correct for this. The best thing, though, is just to try and shoot the planets when they are directly overhead. So because Mars is reaching opposition now, that means Mars is going to be directly overhead at midnight for everyone. And then slowly that time is going to get earlier and earlier in the nights as we overtake Mars on the inside and leave it behind. That will mean it gets better viewing. Whoop, that cloud is now now going away a little bit, it seems. Okay, this is the 190 millimeter Maxitov Newtonian, so 1,000 millimeter focal length, 19 centimeter or 7.5 inch primary mirror. Ooh, we're way overexposed now. I wonder if breaking the cloud. I'm just gonna keep trying my luck. Gonna see how we go. Oh, so overexposed. Quick, bring the exposure down. Get all the frames. Oh, you can just see that histogram jumping around so much. On a really nice clear night, that histogram will stay really stable and steady. Unfortunately, tonight is not that night. Okay, you know, it's really funny you mentioned that, actually. So it's been really nice and clear for the last probably like week and a bit. We've had like mostly clear nights. But of course, this is the week of the new moon and Mars's opposition. And from tonight onwards for the next week, it's scheduled to be storms and rainy. And classic Mother Nature coming and putting a damper on all our astronomy dreams. Oh, we're overexposed again. This is such a battle. The clouds are kind of staying away. Just like a really, really thin layer of clouds. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what they're going to do. Hopefully they turn around and go the other way. Yeah, I've got the gain up. I'm not going to say reasonably high. But it's up around 213. Optimal for this camera is about 80. So you'll definitely be seeing some noise there. We can drop it down though. We drop it down to 80 here. We can then just increase exposure. It just means we lose a bunch of frame rate. Whoa, too much. You can see it's a lot sort of cleaner now in terms of noise, but we're only capturing about 6 frames a second now because we've had to increase the exposure so much. So I usually find it's better to sort of try and get a little bit in between. I usually like around 150 if I can for gain. And the exposure can sit wherever it needs to sit. Yep. It's looking really, like, I tell you what, when the clouds are buggered off, it looks really nice. It really does. Just the fact that you can see that South Pole there. And even at the top, actually, I know there's the fringing happening as well, but I think you can maybe even see a little bit of the top there. Oh, is it? Oh, the sound. Okay, hang on, let me see. Oh yeah, see what you guys are talking about. It could be, let's see if this helps. Whoa. That's really weird. It seems to be doing it as I, Alright, give me 1 sec. Let's see if it, whoop. Nope, that is not better. Well, guys, it looks like technology is going to get the better of me tonight. Perhaps as well as the clouds. They are definitely... Oh. I might just leave the mic off for a little bit. I'm going to get some water. I'll leave the... see if I can get the auto align going. And then I might leave you guys to just watch it until the clouds come over. Nope, looks like... looks like the auto align's freaking out. Okay, we're going to turn that off. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Okay, so we are just going to there we go. We'll just leave it like that for a little bit. The clouds have left us alone for a little bit. They're still sort of just hovering over on this half of the sky, but they haven't seemed to come any closer yet, so that's nice of them. Still not sure what's happening with my audio there, so I might just leave it muted for a little bit as I get a drink.